Real quick, before we start, we just wanted to say that we are in the process of revamping the Patreon, and one of the current plans is to put the most of or the entirety of the current season on Patreon to watch. We will still continue to release things, or we still plan to release things weekly, an episode a week, but if you want to watch more, or hopefully the whole thing, if I can get it all edited, you can patron and head over there and watch it along with us.
Yay!
So...
I wanna do real bad things with you.
What are we doing?
True Blood. I am glad we're still doing it. It's so fun. I'm having so much fun.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
This is soimwatching True Blood, Season 2, Episode 3.
Scratches.
That needle drop at the end.
They're good at their credits needle drops.
All over your back.
I guess we'll start with Bill and Sookie and Jessica. They're bringing Jessica home. They're fighting. Sookie gets out of the car.
We neglected to mention that Bill was furious at the end of last episode. He told Sookie to shut up, that he essentially implied he was going to have to kill Jessica's entire family and that it was her fault. So that's sort of where we're at right now.
Yeah, they get into a huge fight.
Yeah.
She seems to not understand.
Okay. I don't think it's so much that she doesn't understand. It's that she's saying sorry and she understands that it got out of control like so fast, but all she was thinking about was her grandmother and how she wished she could see her one more time. And she just was like trying to be helpful and nice to Jessica. And Bill is having zero of it. Like absolutely zero of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, the precedents need to be set.
I mean, okay, I generally agree, but like he is so off the handle in the way he's behaving.
Okay.
And it's a lot of, this is where the "as your maker I command you" starts, and it's like so intense.
I forget, did we get the blood tears in season 1? I don't think so.
Yeah.
We did?
At the Descendants of the Glorious Dead, he starts crying and he wipes his eye. No one else really sees it, but he wipes his eye and we see it.
So she gets out. She is gonna walk home. These people do not take Louisiana seriously enough, especially Louisiana at night.
How many poisonous things and also murderers there are in the bayou?
And poisonous murderers. And she is approached by a minotaur. Although apparently that word doesn't exist here, none of them can.
Nobody says Minotaur.
Not one of
ever.
them, not even Eric. And so I'm like, I mean, maybe we're in like a Pegasus place where Pegasus is technically the name of the winged horse.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It was wild. It weirdly has 3 claws. I don't know why. I don't think that ever has an explanation. It scratches, gouges Sookie in the back, and Bill can't. He goes to heal her, and
it makes her seize. Yeah.
It's like some weird toxin, sort of like a Komodo dragon. Yeah. So they bring in Doctor,
which are hellish hunters, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I like remember learning it in this show, and I think a movie with Marlon Brando called The Freshman, but I like don't ever remember it, and it's always hellish every time I remember it again. I'm trying to look for the doctor's name. She is
Dr. Ludwig.
What kind of doctor are you?
The healing kind. I'm Dr. Ludwig. What's your
Very interesting character.
Yeah.
I don't think we get her again, and if so, not often.
I don't think so. She doesn't ring a bell outside of this episode.
I like these glimpses into the world. One of my biggest pet peeves is when you have...
Oh, just kidding. Twice more.
Twice more? Okay. Yeah. When you have a fantasy show and you're so rote with it. Like it was my issue with Discovery of Witches, that there's like literally vampires, werewolves, and...
demons.
And that's it.
Yeah.
wholesale. And meanwhile, with True Blood, which we'll get to it in a minute, but it's like there's some stuff that I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like they pull some things out of left field, and I think it makes it kind of exciting. I don't know. I like that this just sort of you never know what you're gonna deal with, because it's something that like Teen Wolf did. Sort of, and then halfway through we're not talking about Teen Wolf. So, they are able to, it's so gross. The doctor is able to heal Sookie's wound. What does she pull out of her?
It's like little.
Was it a nail?
Barbs or something,
Okay.
kind of. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Like a fingernail, you mean?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I wondered if maybe it lost a claw or something.
I don't know. I can't look at the screen when that happens because it's disgusting.
It's so gross. But anyways, they're able to fix her. Dr. Ludwig pretty much wanted nothing to do with the vampires, apparently, but she needs their blood, so she'll work with them sometimes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sookie finds out from Ginger that Lafayette was in the dungeon.
Yep.
So that's how he got out of this. Very
I remember now.
strange plot. I still don't remember.
So I actually think it's sort of on purpose from Eric. I think Eric sort of orchestrated it because Bill was like, Sookie absolutely is not going to Dallas, not over my corpse ever. And Eric was like, we'll see. And so I think he sort of engineered Ginger leaking it to Sookie, because then he was like, Sookie's obviously going to ask me to let him go, and then I have a bargaining chip. Like, I'll let him go, no harm, no foul, and you come with me to Dallas.
I still don't like it.
The Lafayette of it all? Oh.
It's mean. He deserves better than that. It's as like evidenced by the scene where he gets home and like won't let them help him in.
Yeah.
And then finally gets in his house and just starts crying.
Yeah.
Because, trauma.
Well, I also do love that he was like, as far as I'm concerned, I've been in Club Med for the last 3 weeks or whatever, and you make sure and tell your friends I said that. And I do love that. It's true what he said in the last episode. Lafayette is a survivor. He will do what it takes.
Survivor, a capitalist.
Yeah.
Prostitute didn't even make the top 10.
No. He'll do what it takes.
So they did handle that. What is Sam's deal? Where was he going?
I don't know.
Was he going to find his family?
I don't know. Whatever. Terry called him a coward. I'm on Terry.
Yeah, why did Terry call him a coward?
Because he was running away from his problems. Because he's just trying to escape Marianne.
Oh, I don't remember that, and that was not clear. I mean, we paused a couple times watching this, but I was sort of, what is he going on about?
It turns out because he doesn't end up leaving, because he like meets Daphne at the lake at the end of the episode. And so I think he ends up staying. I don't think he goes to find his family till next season.
Yeah, I just like he and this was last episode too, but she just was like comically bad.
Yeah.
Like at one point she fell on a trash can. Like it was a mess.
She dropped an entire tray of food on Sam's shoes.
But yeah, she's weird. So okay, he goes for a run with the dog and dives into that lake. So I will allow it because of I will allow it solely on vibes.
Okay.
Because it adds to the mystery, glamour, and romance of the show. We will not be actually breaking down the concept of an adult man diving into a lake.
Nude.
Into a lake in Louisiana in the middle of the night.
Nude at night in rural Louisiana.
Head underwater. We're not going to actually think about the realist.
You are begging for, at the very least,
an infection.
a catfish to jump on your ding dong.
Or, I mean, or one of those, like, remember the
Giardia.
Yeah, I'm like, there's like shit that eats your brain.
Flesh-eating bacteria, brain-eating amoeba. You are asking for it.
No, the like sexy vampire.
Sure. Sexy vibes aside. Don't do it.
And so this beautiful woman with irresistible charm shows up and to swim with him.
It's Daphne.
Yeah.
It's not a mystery. It's Daphne.
No, but I mean, there's something off about her. And I had a couple theories. What?
There's something very fishy about that girl.
Can't quite put my mermaid on it.
She has the same scratches down her back that healed. Sookie has 0 scars at all, but Daphne is
A Sookie special.
Daphne is mercifully or not mercifully.
No, I was like, she is tore up.
Unfortunately, scarred for life. It's the entire length of or like height of her back.
And there's a flourish.
Yeah.
So I'm doing bad. I'm doing real bad. I think it's because I'm done.
I'm so tired.
I'm done with this episode. Well, I guess technically, I mean, we were moving pawns around. Like, it wasn't plot dense, but it was good.
Yeah.
Tara continues her trajectory, although I don't understand her high horse at the end. Is that just self-sabotage Tara, or
I don't know. I think she's there for like the initial Marianne stuff, but I think watching Mike Spencer and Jane Boathouse raw dog on the lawn is,
to quote Marianne, everybody was just having a good time.
okay. Yes. But I think Tara didn't realize what she signed up for. And then Eggs was just like letting that girl with her tits out all over.
No, okay. No. Because the girl approaches, invites herself into the hot tub.
Tits out.
But everyone's tits are out.
But I don't think Tara realized until that moment how escalated everything had gotten.
I don't know. I guess it's not relatable to me. I've never realized I was at an orgy and been furious and needed to get out of there.
Tara. Oh, come on, Tara.
I don't think I'd be furious, but I would leave.
Uh-huh.
Some people aren't in for group sex, Will. Sorry.
You can watch. It's chill.
I know you like to watch. I remember that from college.
Like, because Eggs, like, kind of looks at her when the girl is like...
Yeah.
And I don't know. She got real judgy and
it was a little too. It was definitely a little
sex
too
negative.
Judgy. Yeah, it was definitely sex negative. I just like. I think I understand where she's coming from. Is that she like all of a sudden is like in something a lot deeper than she thought she was.
All I'm saying is I like Marianne. It makes sense to me. I'm buying what she's selling.
She is wearing a dope dress in this episode.
I'm so glad you made it.
Actually, I'm here because there's been some complaints about the noise.
It's pretty cool.
She's got a little pig house.
What you doing in there, pig?
Okay.
That does or does not contain a red hog.
Yeah.
Hate to be a party pooper, but you got a livestock permit for that pig?
What pig?
That pig.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Was there a second ago.
She also is feeding every.
Not the only hog we saw this episode.
True. She also is feeding everybody organ soup.
But she said it was delicious. I'm on her side.
It's a red flag. It's a red flag.
There was tripe.
Yeah.
There
was tripe and extra juniper berries because Carl didn't put enough in. That sounds disgusting.
I mean, I think there was more than tripe and juniper.
No, that's it.
Eggs did kind of seduce Tara away from work as well.
Yeah.
Which Terry's running? Because everybody's gone? Like,
can't find Lafayette. Sookie never showed up for work, so Arlene's there. No one else can do anything.
Daphne can't do anything.
No,
Amy's dead.
So Sam is entrusting Terry with the restaurant, and that's essentially when he's like, "You're a coward for running away from your problems."
It's still like, so he doesn't like Marianne. Well, we know that she raped him when he was.
And he knows that she is dangerous.
Sure.
But also Tara keeps being like, you don't even know her. And I'm like, how the fuck do you think that he's saying all these things if he doesn't know her?
the parts of the script, especially parts of the plotting of the season, is House of Cards.
Sure. Yeah.
Don't rattle it too much. So, what else was there?
Well, Jason is having like group therapy.
What is his plot is so dumb in this episode? Why is he like is having doubts out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Is it just because of Stephen Root?
Yeah.
Eddie?
Well, so he basically like there's a woman giving her like testimony or whatever about how like she thought the vampire loved her. Meanwhile, she is literally covered in bite marks. Like every inch of her. And she thought he loved her, and then he left her for dead, and like all this stuff. And so Jason,
I mean, Jason's dumb enough to not know, to not be able to read between the lines when you get the church pitch.
Sure, I'll join your cult.
sure.
To not know what all that means.
Yeah, but he basically starts telling the story about how like his sister's dating a vampire, and he seems to treat her well, and like he had a friend named Eddie, and like he says he was a really nice.
Well, and also his human friend killed.
Yeah. And he says he was a really nice person, and then Sarah is like, he's not a person. And they like, it's the whole thing.
They talk in circles.
Yeah.
It
makes
it doesn't. No, there was no through line in any of those conversations, but it was enough to confuse Jason.
No, 100%.
Which is the point.
Because he's with Steve and Sarah for dinner later, and Steve is like roundabout talking to him, and he's like,
there's a war going on out there.
And what's going on out there is a war. Not.
But not even that, because it's so funny. But he keeps on saying, like, you have to hate because hating your enemy means
It's the only way to love.
or hating evil is the only way to love good or something like that. It's like so insane. And it's just, and then he says, they killed my dad and my mom and my baby sister. And then he's like, it's like he's realizing it in real time. He's like, they're baby killers. And I'm just like, no, they're not. Like, they're just
Don't we find out who did that?
I think so, but I don't remember.
I don't remember who it is, but I think we do actually
Yeah.
find out who was responsible for that.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Well, my favorite part is he has the nightmare in their
communal dorm
sleep space, and then starts to pray, as people do.
Yeah.
Just in general, especially at church camp when you're feeling conflicted. However, he's praying out loud.
In the middle of the night.
Do your lips move when you read?
Jason's absolutely do.
Because when Luke throws the pillow at him, because it's TV, so part of me is like, well, we're just hearing this.
Sure.
It's not exactly the diegetic, non-diegetic conversation, but I'm like, it's a shorthand just so we can know what he's praying. And then when Luke throws the pillow at him, I was like, sociopath.
Yeah.
In communal spirit, dear God.
Yeah.
Like,
and he does the whole thing, too. It's ridiculous.
Oh, God. It was really dumb. Sarah, as always, is great at a camp.
Yeah.
She makes banana pudding. There's a lot of very heavy-handed and clunky.
And Sarah doesn't bring out her pudding for just anyone.
Which makes me... It's more like, than it is like,
Sarah doesn't throw her pudding
banana,
at suspected man.
Because I'm like, well, what if, banana is it's like a very specific flavor.
Yeah.
Like peaches and cream, most people can agree, but it's like if you're coming out with like coconut or pineapple.
It's not banana flavored pudding. It's vanilla pudding and bananas and Nilla wafers and whipped cream. It's a dish. It's not a flavor. It's banana pudding. It's a thing.
I thought it was banana flavored pudding with whipped cream on top.
No, disgusting.
Do you understand my bafflement?
No, banana pudding, it's almost like a trifle.
I'm not a dessert person.
He's not.
Like, it's a thing. I don't really, so.
I find it fundamentally strange that you're not a dessert person. That's just weird.
I do know rice pudding is not rice flavored pudding.
There's rice in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what rice pudding is.
Rice flavored.
This is a terrible episode. This is a terrible recap of a weird episode.
It is a weird episode.
They're not all going to be hits.
No.
Oh, Andy Belflor
Go ahead.
has relapsed, but is also suspicious.
Yeah.
And he was given...
What are you doing in there, pig? I'm just going to do my Southern accent for the rest of the time.
I'm telling you, one woman show will do 60-second reenactments where we'll get props and wigs.
All right, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm down.
What did you start to say?
Jessica gets tired of waiting around at the house, and so she goes to Merlotte's, and she meets Hoyt, and it's so fucking cute.
She is so pretty.
So pretty.
The bar smelled like sex and candy.
It sure did.
Their thing is so pure, which you love to see it, to see sex represented innocently and purely
and healthfully. Yeah.
And we love the gender flipping of the metaphor, because she pops her fangs and gets really embarrassed and he has to it's natural. It's so good.
So then they get caught necking on the couch by Bill, who goes into overdrive, overprotective parent, after he bought her a bunch of pink frilly shit at the fucking mall.
Because he misses petticoats.
I kind of miss them at times. They left something to the imagination.
He's the worst. Because the woman was old-fashioned. And he goes, no, I'm just conservative.
No. She said conservative. And he said, no, I'm just old-fashioned.
It's not one-to-one.
No, it's not. But it's the same.
But synonyms. Yeah. If you pull up the
thesaurus. We're having a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time. He's awful. But they do the first of, because this is the budgets have been upped a little bit, and this is the first of many exciting tossing a vampire across the room.
Specifically Jessica. Mm-hmm. She gets tossed around a lot. Also, I'm sorry, I said it out there, I have to say it again. There is no way in hell that, because Sookie is I'm sure that the Halloween store still has some petticoats. And I'm you're telling me not one old biddy, Maxine Fortenberry, doesn't have a petticoat lying around in the attic? I don't believe
you. You know these people are Civil War reenactors. I mean,
there are petticoats everywhere.
Also,
Gran doesn't have a fucking petticoat in the attic?
You guys owe Kristen a thank you, because not once, not twice, but thrice she stopped me from going into the bathroom and curling my hair. And wearing it like this.
Sookie's hair these 2 episodes is so bad.
She has a bun in the back.
But then everything's hanging right here. Like curtains.
But it's the Edwardian, but by way of Forever 21. Yeah. It's it was terrible.
Bad. It's bad news.
So she's going to Texas to help Eric.
Yep.
And
she's getting $10,000.
Yeah, they raked him over those coals.
Really did. It was amazing. He's your human's getting cocky, and it's just
Bill said, yeah, what of it? Also, it's 10,000 and I'm coming.
Amazing.
So, so that was that episode. We'll be back with episode 4 later.
Bye.